Good to see you again. It's been a while. So I'm really interested in this autonomy roadmap you laid out and what it means for Mobileye versus Tesla and Google's Waymo. You've got supervision technology where you need somebody in the driver's seat paying attention. You've got a robotaxi, which does its own thing. Explain, please, your argument that your technology is going to end up being lower cost, higher quality.
Hello, John. It's good to be with you. Yes, it was our first Capital Markets Day since our IPO. We had people come over and test drive Polestar 4 and Zeekr, and also the ID Buzz, our robotaxi, driving an hour-long and deep urban roads in Munich, completely hands-free, no interventions whatsoever. And the Polestar 4 and Zeekr are production vehicles. Polestar 4 is coming out now in Europe and hopefully during next year also in the US. And what this shows is a low-cost system, just cameras and a front-facing radar that with 11 cameras provides the necessary perception and AI stack to drive hands-free, but it requires supervision. It requires what we call eyes-on. The next product in the stack we call Chauffeur, which with additional LiDARs and additional radars, and at some configuration also with our imaging radars, provides a level 3 on highways. This is a project we're doing with Audi. Mm-hmm. We showed investors, prototype vehicles of that, and then Drive, which is a robotaxi, on a platform called ID Buzz, partnership with the VW. There are already about 100 such vehicles, test-driven in Munich, in Hamburg, in Austin, Texas, and soon in more cities.
Okay.
Slated for production in about 2 years.
So self-driving, both the hands-off, chauffeur, and robotaxi are going to be, you project much higher revenue for you guys than basic ADAS, the advanced driver assistance systems, which you're selling today. You presented a version of a chart today I think we can show representing how your revenue mix is going to be different by the end of the day. Walk investors through how adoption is going to work both in countries and through OEMs.
So when we're talking about adoption of supervision, today we have supervision in China, and in 2026 starting in the West with the Volkswagen Group, Audi, Porsche, and additional brands of Volkswagen. We are in deep engagement with about 9 of our 10 biggest OEMs at different stages of nomination. Some of those are really at the finish line. We showed that even if we stay with the current volumes, by the end of the decade, we can triple our revenue. And this is with a very conservative assumption that our volumes do not grow, which I believe will grow substantially. So we're talking about a big spike in revenue.
Okay, so right now, kind of zooming out a bit, Intel still owns a vast majority of Mobileye. The company's in a CEO transition right now, bit of a capital crunch, frankly. Does it matter to you, does it matter to Mobileye if Intel maintains the size of its stake or sells it?
Well, Intel has always been helpful, and even today they're very helpful. We have a strong board, and Intel board members are very helpful. But Mobileye is independent on its pursuing its day-to-day business. So whatever is happening at Intel, positive or challenging, has no bearings on our business.
Finally, China, with the incoming Trump administration, is expected to be some inflammation of the relationship, perhaps, between the U.S. and China. Does that at all complicate Mobileye's position, or do you feel that based on your work through OEMs, it's safe?
No, we have experienced a short-term challenge, especially in related to China and related to this U.S.-China divide, in related to local for local as a kind of a strategic move. But I think we reduced our exposure to China. So I think next year, 2025, we kind of took a very conservative approach in our forecast for China so that we will not be affected for the volatility that is going on there. But yes, there is going to be volatility. There was volatility, and there'll continue to be volatility with respect to China.
All right. Big update.